Hi, everyone. My name is Ms. Mankiewicz, and I'm here with my friend, Mrs. Snail, and we are going to read you a story today. We're going to read one about one of our favorite animals. Can you guess what our favorite animal is? If you guessed a snail, you're right. Yay, right? So, our story is one that Mrs. Snail loves to come in and read to my fourth grade class. It is called Are You a Snail? Are you a snail? Okay, she said she is a snail. So let's look at our story. I'm going to read it and then I'll show you the pictures. That might be the easiest way to do it. So, are you a snail? If you are, your life began in an egg like one of these. So, there we go, that like one of these eggs. And in fact, Mrs. Snail and snails like her, she's a brown garden snail. They lay 85 eggs at a time. Okay, so 85 eggs. So somewhere around 85 eggs. And there's some of the little snails over there. You can see some more snails coming on up. All right. So when you hatch, you look like this. This is your mother. So we're going to show you the picture of, and it kind of looks like Mrs. Snail a little bit. Oh, okay. Mrs. Snail thinks she's a little bit, Mrs. Snail, is a little bit prettier, but we'll see. All right. So you are much smaller than your mother, but you are actually very, very small, but you will grow. So there's the little baby snail, and it looks just like the mother. So sometimes animals don't look like what they're going to look like when they get older, but snails do. They're just a really, really, really small version of the snail. You have two horns, which we don't really see those on Mrs. Snail, and two eyes on stalks. Okay, well, Mrs. Snail is a little bit different, so we'll just, but good, beautiful, great still. But if she had her eyes on stalks, it's really, really cool. And it says right here, you can pull your eyes right down into your stalks inside your head if you need to. So the snails, it's okay that you don't. The snails that have their eyes on stalks, um, they can pull their stalk all the way into their head and look around their head if they need to, which is kind of cool. Okay, a little bit creepy, but kind of cool. Okay, but this next page applies to you. Okay, you are slimy. You are very, very slimy. So what are you mad about? You brought the book. So snails are a little bit slimy, and they kind of leave a little slime trail that we'll talk about later. But that's just what you're like. It's okay. Oh. All right. So remember, we're talking about two horns, which she doesn't really have, and eyes on socks, which she doesn't have, and slimy, which Mrs. Snail is. All right, this part might apply to you. You have a shell with a beautiful pattern on it. So here's her shell. She wants to show it off. She says it's more than beautiful. All right, it's gorgeous. All right. You have no legs, so she doesn't have legs, but she has one foot, and it's a really, really strong foot. So that slime on her strong foot helps her to move along. Wherever she goes, she leaves a silvery, slimy trail. And I'm going to show you the book, but you're getting slime all over my book. All right. So here is the book right here. And here is this snail. And there's the slimy trail so she's pointing with her stalk, that snail left. Okay. So you're beginning to like this book. You read it every year. You should like it. All right. You like damp places. And damp means like a wet kind of place. You like to be outside when it has rained. And Mrs. Snail, she loves to go outside when it rains. You have a big rough tongue right inside your mouth. and you use it to rip pieces off leaves and eat them. And she loves to do that. Leaves are one of her favorite things to eat, and she loves to do that. So there we go. After that making you hungry, you want to go eat some? I don't think she can get any of it. It's a book. Okay. That was good. All right, now be careful of this part. Watch out for thrushes. Thrushes are dangerous. They like to eat snails. So a thrush, you might be wondering what a thrush is. It's that bird right there. Okay, so they really like to eat snails. Don't worry, Mrs. Snail. It's just a picture. They know how to break the shells off, and they don't mind the slime. Okay, so thrushes have an adaptation that they can break with their beak the shell off. And they don't mind that Mrs. Snail's all slimy. They can break the shell off and still eat her. Okay, so hide in the daytime and go out at night when thrushes are asleep. So if she's going to hide in the daytime and she's going to go out at night, does anyone remember what she's called? What kind of animal she is? Well, I know you know. And if you said nocturnal, like Mrs. Snail, you're right. So Mrs. Snail is nocturnal because she's going to go out mostly. Sometimes you'll see one during the day, and it's daytime right now and she's up. But mostly during the night because thrushes are asleep then and they can hide from the thrushes. So it's kind of smart of them to do that. It's one of their adaptations. All right. So let's look, but also look out for foxes. Foxes are dangerous. Hungry foxes eat snails, and they don't mind the slime either. So they don't mind that you're slimy either. Foxes go out at night. Yes, and if you're supposed to go out at night, foxes go out at night too. But you can't hide it. But you can't hide at night because you need to eat sometime. Just be careful. Just be careful, right? So there's a fox out to hunt a snail. And there are some snails right there, but they're hiding. So hopefully they're safe, right? But it looks like the fox might see them. All right. Don't go where humans go. You could get squashed. You move too slowly. Well, snails kind of move slow to get out of the way. You want to show everybody how fast you run. All right, so Mrs. Snail said she's related to Turbo, and Turbo runs really, really fast. If you remember watching that movie, Turbo. Okay, he's your cousin. Okay, she wants to show you how fast she runs because she said the book is wrong. She doesn't move slow. Here you can go. Oh, you are? Okay, well, okay. I don't know if she's going really, really fast. Okay, you are going so fast, we can barely see you moving. They're going so fast. All right. Okay, you move too slowly to get out of the way. I'm just reading the book. Humans don't like you because you eat their plants. I like you a lot, and I bet they do too. They might put out poison or sharp gravel in their garden. Okay, so some people, like, because snails might eat your actual plant, some people put things out so they can't get in their garden and eat them. So it hurts snails to walk on the gravel, and also the gravel kind of sticks to their slime, and she doesn't like that at all. And if you put poison, well, poison's poisonous and would really hurt her. Now, this is right here is a different snail, obviously, who's not as fast as Mrs. Snail. And that one might not get away. And Mrs. Snail finds that very, very, very sad. Okay. You might meet someone who looks like this. That is not a snail whose shell has fallen off. That is a slug. So that would be a slug right there. Okay. The winter cold makes makes Mrs. Snail sleepy and other snails. So what they do is they hibernate. If you ever heard the word hibernate, that means that their food is not available in the winter, so they put their body into a kind of sleep. So they don't need as much energy, so they don't need the food that is not available. So what Mrs. Snail needs to do is find a safe place, my house, and what she does, she's going to go into her shell door right here. I'm going to help her get in, and her slime will harden. Okay, right there, and she's all safe right here in her shell. But then when the spring comes and summer, the spring's warmth is going to wake her up, and then she'll come out. Come out all that stuff will melt away and you'll slime on off. What says slime off right in the book? And find food. So there it is. There's the winter. There are our snails going to hibernate. And then over here it's spring and she's coming on out. She's going to go find some food. So that really helps a snail stay alive. The fact that they hibernate when their food is not around. Okay. However, if you look a little like this, or this, you are not a snail. So all of these people, they're not snails. Mrs. Snail likes the fact that this one right there is wearing a snail shirt, but he's still not a snail, right? You are a human child. You have no shell on your back. You have no horns, and your eyes are not on stalks. So you probably all look a little bit more like this than like that. But you can do a lot of things that snails can't. Oh, you can do things they can't do too. You're not afraid of thrushes or foxes. I still wouldn't go near a fox at night or too close to a fox, but you're not really afraid it's going to like gobble you up and swallow you. Most humans like you. Well, I like you. Best of all, you're not the least bit slimy. Right. And here are some facts about snails that maybe Mrs. Snail doesn't even know. Did you know that the trail of a snail is broken? So if you see a slime trail that's kind of broken on up, that's from a snail. But the trail of a slug is one long slime and a slime trail, and it's not broken. There are over 60,000 different types of snails. So that's a lot of snails. Yep. And Mrs. Snail is a garden snail, but there are other kinds that live in deserts or swamps or ponds or rivers or in the sea. And there is a giant African snail that can grow very, very large. The biggest one ever found was 16 inches long and weighed over, get this, Mrs. Snail, you won't believe it, 2 pounds. So lots. Snails belong to a family of creatures called gastropods, which simply really means a stomach foot. So you can say that the snail is a stomach on a foot. Okay, she didn't really like that either. Sorry, Mrs. Snail, but again, you brought the book. So this is our story about a snail. I encourage you this summer to be outside and explore and see what you can find outside. You might find snails, but you're going to find other things as well. Things in your own backyard that you're going to find interesting and exciting. So we want to tell everybody to have a great summer and make sure you continue to read so you can learn new things every day. Hey, have a great summer. Goodbye.